Alright, we're back. So I just wanted to make sure I got my IP set up where I wanted it. So again, we're at a 9.5 bar, roughly 140 psi. We're going to do our breathing tests. We got our adjustment done on our first stage. What I was talking about before, I don't know if I got it on video or if the camera stopped working, but these chrome regs drive me absolutely insane. I have fingerprints all over them. Gonna have to get a rag to wipe them all down. So let's check out our worker breathing. So I'll move you guys over here so you can see what's going on here. Maybe tilt this down a little bit more. Does it look like it's facing away from you? Alright, so you guys got a bird's eye view now. Alright, so I'm going to check my primary first. I just did a couple test breaths off of it. Got a little bit of a hiss, so we're going to grab our adjustment tool. I knew that sounded like it was breathing too good. It was breathing too good because it was breathing on its own. So, there we go. As soon as I get the adapter on, there we go. So, got the adapter on the second stage. So we got about 1.2 for our cracking effort, and that diaphragm hum is killing me, so I'm going to try to spin the diaphragm a little bit, see if that helps. I didn't change the exhaust diaphragm, so that shouldn't really make a difference. And once it's in the water, that won't be an issue, but honking like a duck like that drives me crazy. So yeah, 1.2. So we lowered this down a little bit. It was at 1.5 pre-service. We're down to 1.2. Our IP is roughly the same, so pretty happy with this guy. I'm going to check my octo next. I can feel that this has a pretty heavy draw on it, probably because we went 2.5 turns. So I would say that's 1.6 to 1.7, well within range for an octo. So I'm going to call this guy done. I'm going to put the plugs back in, the cover plug. Got to be really careful with these too. You know, based on the gauge of these regulators and the amount of times they've been taken on and put, taken on and off. Wow, holy smokes! These tend to crack, and again, you want to check the thread areas, make sure they're not showing any sign of fatigue. From what I understand, these are impossible to find. So if these actually break, you're going to be in an issue where your regulator is not serviceable. I have not done this myself, but I heard that you can find specific on the older Daycore regulators, because they had the 1/2-inch port plugs. You can put a 1/2-inch port plug in there. I'm not sure what that would do to the buoyancy characteristic, but those plugs were kind of heavy. They would probably cause this to be a little bit lopsided in the water, I would think. And that big heavy weight on the side. And I think I gotta go grab another. Oh, I got a set of Allen wrenches right here. Yep, so kind of back this up a little bit here. So literally, we want to get this hand tight and a little. One ooga dooga. Ooga dooga. Alright, pretty happy with that. We're going to put the lock back on the primary. I'm going to call these guys done. Put the mouthpieces back on them. Call it a day. It's got a nice healthy purge to it. Yeah, man, good stuff. So awesome. Oh, we were talking on one of the videos before, not really sure, about, you know, if you're paying to have your stuff serviced and you go to pick it up, and whoever's behind the counter, whoever's in the shop, if they can't hand you a bag of parts that came out of your regulator, I would be very suspect of that. Any reputable place is going to say, yeah, we serviced your equipment. These are the old parts that came out. I don't know if anybody else at Tex actually does this, but I have a container of all the old parts that I take out of regulators and throw them into that container. And then once that fills up, I throw it away. Don't ask me why I do that. I started doing that years ago. But these are out of my own personal Apex reg I serviced about a week or so ago. And this is just kind of a heads up, right? I had a guy I used to work with. He called me, told me he brought his gear into a dive center. He paid like $400 for his stuff to be serviced. He asked to see the old parts, and the guy behind the counter said, "Oh, we don't do that here. We don't show customers their old parts." I found that very strange. These are some of the old parts out of my Mares reg. The Mares Ruby Abyss that I serviced, these are the parts from that. There's not a poppet in here because the poppet gets reused, specifically on the Ruby regulator. But you should basically be able to see all your important stuff: your filter, your high pressure seat, an abundance of O-rings in most cases. This is my diaphragm, like I said, from my Apex regulator, my filter from my first stage. That's the first stage seat right there. And that's basically it, man. You guys have to do your due diligence. And I know there's a lot of people are like, oh, you know, don't get your stuff serviced. They always mess it up. They always break it. Well, if they're not servicing in the first place, that's part of the issue, right? So if you find a reputable dive center that actually does know how to service gear, let them take care of it. Let them do the right thing. It's probably going to cost you some money. This stuff isn't cheap, but you know, it's worth it in the long run to have your stuff done properly. And that's it. All right, man. Next video be a couple of days. Get it uploaded. You guys will be all set.